All right, so just got done seeing Together, and this was okay for about the first half to about to 60%. I liked what was going on. I liked the setting. I liked the way the characters are, the plot that was going on with the connection between the two leads. Yeah, there's a lot to like. There was enough going on to where that you knew it was obviously more than just a couple going through, issues, and it was good. It was rather good in places. Some places were actually kind of comical here and there, which made me think, well, there's actually some comedy in here that makes me think that it's not going to be too horrific, not too much horror, but more of maybe body horror aspects that can be funny. But I was kind of getting a little worried because usually with a setup like this, when it's kind of feeding you a little bit of breadcrumbs and not much at all, there's the mystery aspects are just barely touched upon, just a little bit here and there. So I knew that it would had to end up of like one of two or three ways. And the way that it ended up concluding the movie was a way that I was kind of hoping that it would not turn to. It felt like the longer the movie went on, the harder that it was for the script to have reasons why the couple didn't do things that you or I would have done. They try to play off. They could have done a way better job, but obviously apparently there wasn't good enough reasons. But the reason why certain characters, especially Dave Franco, wanted to stay rather than get out of town, they kind of just allowed that to happen in an unconvincing way. He wanted to do a little bit more research into what was going on, but I don't know. The passage of time was really hurting that aspect of it all, because it's like there's like periods of time where you're like, okay, he seems to be concerned about some things that's happening around them. Why don't he go and figure it out? Why is he just sitting at the computer and just kind of moping around or something like that? And the movie just doesn't do a good enough job explaining why characters are doing things and why characters are not doing other things, like calling the police or going to a hospital or just getting out of town. So I knew that the way that they were just forcing these characters to do things that was so unnatural that I was afraid that the ending was going to be not very good either. And ultimately, that's what happened. I just did not like the ending. The whole third act, it continued to get worse. So I would say it's barely above average for me. It left on too much of a sour note and odd little moments and kind of a goofy little last shot. So it's going to be a hard one for me to recommend whatsoever. I don't know. It was a bit of a letdown, even though the first 2/3 or so was really good. But let me know what you thought about it, and I'll catch you in the next one.